And my heart rate is so high. Starting to get better, though. I'm seeing improvements.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to TeamODZ Live. I'm back. And Rick,
We're all back.
Mel, and Hooper, and everybody.
What about me?
I said,
Is that
Rick,
my new name, everybody?
And years
I'm
kids, you don't know what?
I did call myself an everyman earlier.
Every man, like I'm like the song "I'm Every Woman, but You're Every Man."
Exactly.
Oh my god! You know what? I miss you guys already.
Whew. Yeah, starting to get better. I got a couple outdoor rides yesterday, commuting. Those made me feel better. Usually that kicks it in. So I noticed I'm not getting into fitness mode very well. Then multiple outdoor rides in one day will kick me back into it pretty quick.
Last week I was pretty frustrated because some random dude joined, and he took off way before the line, like way before the go.
Was he DQ'd?
I don't know if they decided to go back and do it, but I sure called for it, and my video footage is proof that that guy most definitely took off long before it was time.
I didn't post any results for last week.
When you sent me that video, I was like in the middle of a sea of people and I just stopped and watched it. I was at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, and it was just, they said something like there was 15,000 athletes there. So then if you add all the people that came with those people, there was just people everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because wherever you go in Disney, you see cheerleaders. It's just they take over everything. You go into Target,
yeah.
cheerleaders.
It just amazes me how much girls love cheerleading.
Yeah,
I guess it was the recipe of, you know, girls to guys. Guys like the sport and girls like to cheerlead. I just wish that more than just football got cheerleaders.
Basketball does.
Yeah.
Well, that's just, thing is, yeah, that's that kind of cheerleading. I wonder how long it's even going to last, because I mean, the cheer teams don't like it because it's just stupid. It's just, they just do dumb things. They just, they have to, like, none of them are paying attention usually, and they're just like, they all want to be, they all want to be tumbling and not standing in the freezing cold. At least up here, it's freezing cold for football season. It's usually raining. And
but like cheerleaders don't get any respect in football. Like I used to, when I had first joined the military, one of my officers in charge, she's a lieutenant at the time, and she was a cheerleader for the Skins, I think it was, or you know, Washington football team / Commanders, and she said that she didn't even get paid anything at all, like nothing.
Yeah.
So she had to stay in the military to get any benefits or anything.
The only way to like take cheerleading into something that makes money is to go into all-star cheering. But you do see a lot of them working for varsity, which last year I had looked at varsity. Varsity Spirit is the company that runs it all.
Yeah.
And their valuation was 500 million. But then this year I looked it up. So I was having that conversation, and they just got sold to Bain International for $2.5 billion.
Nice.
Which I guess that's also a tactic
Yeah.
to overvalue something. But
I mean, I don't, with the amount of girls who are obsessed with it, like, it has value, but now they need to figure out how to monetize it already. So
yeah,
it's more than just like cheerleading
which
competitions.
that would be
Like,
character, because I mean, how many people do you know that played sports in high school and college and they're professional players now making money?
Yeah.
I mean,
I only know 2 in my whole life. One guy was soccer. He went pro and he's still pro, from what I understand. And this girl,
yeah.
she was a basketball player and she went pro. And I'm pretty sure she's still pro if I understand her correctly.
all
I think
all the
Monica
ones
Wright. She was on the cover of ESPN for one day.
all the ones that I know, yeah, they made like a decent living, and then they also made a name so that they can have like local celebrity and get paid for gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
But
mind you, it's WNBA. They're not rich, and he's soccer in America, so they're not rich. So,
yeah, it's
like, yeah. So, like, they're famous or they're known for the most part, but they're not rich for sure.
But yeah, at this point, it's an expensive way to be able to build those character traits.
I think the problem is there's the competition structure is not interesting. I think that's the problem. They need to turn it into like a bracket, and they need to make distinct teams that you can join, and then make it into like a legitimate league in the way that Americans like leagues to be set up. And I think that would help.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for everybody to get into it. But you wait though, because your daughter gets into this, and next thing you know, you may not fully understand how anything is getting scored, but you're still gonna be like, "Here we go."
Yeah, exactly.
And getting into it, it's kind of a crazy thing. I'm still not sure.
Now, where they take 500 teams and one after another, after another, after another. You're like, what am I seeing here? Like, who's winning? Who sucks?
Eventually, you get to know it.
They messed up, but like, really, it's just confusing at this point. You need announcers and you need freaking replays so I can figure out what the heck. I can't watch 12 girls at a time do 12 different things. Like, seriously, guys? Like, they need to make it TVable, and it needs to like last longer and be more competitive, 1 versus 1, or maybe like no more than 4 teams for a session. Like, it's just too much to keep up with. And I think that would earn them money. I know people would watch it. I would easily rather watch a cheerleading bracket than a freaking WNBA bracket.
It needs to be called the World Series and then only have local teams.
Yeah.
The entire thing is definitely it's definitely set up for parents and family, and they still make that much money, which is crazy.
But, yeah, from all those damn ticket sales and concessions, insane concessions.
Like, when you go into those things, into each one of the arenas, there's a few people sitting around. There's like, maybe 2% sitting in there of the entire amount of people that are there.
Yeah.
And some of them they just want to sit. And then the other one, they're actually watching everybody, which is kind of crazy.
My thing with cheer,
sensory overload in there.
Yeah, because my thing with cheer, like you're saying, is like people are gonna watch it. Like how many people you say come? Like, who doesn't want to support their little daughter doing this? Like, it's gonna bring in the money. It's like compared to like basketball, nobody wants to watch. I mean, I'm just being honest here. Like, the numbers prove it already. Nobody want to watch women play basketball, but they definitely want to watch them play tennis, a few other ones, and they definitely will watch them cheer. Like, I know people will watch it. They already do. So monetize it better so that my daughter can make some money and not have to switch sports because there's no money in it for her.
Sorry, not paying attention to the stream chat. I'm out of practice, mate.
Yeah, he's been in Florida for all this time. He's still in vacation mode.
Yeah. Yes, I'm back. And struggling this morning. I couldn't even find my shoes. They're in a yellow plastic bag somewhere. I hunted all over the house trying to find this yellow plastic bag. I handed things through the door as we unloaded the car for the kids. We put them somewhere. I don't know where they put them. So I want a backup pair of shoes this morning.
Whew. All right, I'm almost on Twitch, so I can be a part of this. Trying to finish the workout that I did not finish yesterday.
Oh wow, everybody slowed down a lot. Or maybe I just started pushing. I don't
There
know.
we go. Hey, Pookie. I think I'm kind of finally pulling out of the nonsense I was feeling the last couple of days. Not fully there, but I'm seeing a little improvement. I'm doing FTP right now, and I'm not in the 170s.
How doing, Pookie?
Yeah.
How's the new bike? Getting along with it? Sorry, I wasn't on many of your streams recently. Doing too much driving.
I will say there was
It's a dim and distant.
one break issue.
It's a dim and distant memory at the moment. My fitness, Pookie.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty freaked out the last couple of days.
So, hometown place in Tuscaloosa does not have an exercise bike in their fitness room, but they have 3 treadmills, one of which pairs with Zwift. So, I ended up running. I did what?
Nah.
Yeah, I ran.
An athlete does whatever it takes when they can't do their primary.
I kind of ran on that one 13-mile walk I did. That was so much fun. First day on the humidity and the warmth. I got a sunburn that day though, because I thought I'd be back in time for the sun to get up. I wasn't. And I was power walking. I was like jogging in between and then walking just to try to keep my zone in zone 2.
So,
and then
I've run a full marathon at 8 minute 15 miles. And it's amazing how quickly your body forgets how to do that.
Yeah.
I was sore the next day just after that walk and jog.
So I did 5k on the I did 5k on the treadmill, and I had to walk 5 minutes, run 10, walk another 5, run 10, and then walk the rest.
Yeah.
Well, now y'all know how I feel when I'm going to track and still doing these hard workouts in the morning.
Yeah. Well, you should be used to it by now, right? I always
Well,
feel like
take off
running.
6 months, so like I do it for season, and then I hang up running mostly, and then I go back to biking, and then when track comes back around, I start running again.
And then
I did get a late start this year. So.
At least you can come into it with all the students, so that if they're hurting, you can be like, "Yeah, I get what you're feeling."
Yeah. And it sucks sometimes because I have the fitness to do more, but the muscles have like all gone dormant.
That's crazy.
So then you got to deal with like lower leg issues that I don't really use on the bike too much, not as much. So like my calves will be like really tight.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
now, I wish I had my gun right now.
My hips my hamstrings, it's like everything. And I didn't even do much full running. I did one run session up a hill, which was also known as a bridge. And that was it. Other than that, it was like jogging just to keep my heart rate up in zone once in a while. Because even jogging would put me into tempo. I was just like, well, I can't keep jogging or else I will be too high.
I do need to make it a point to run once a week once the season is over, at least once a week.
Yeah, save the pain.
Yeah. I don't want those muscles to go away again. But life happened last year, so, and the year before, so. But nah, I'm going to stay with it.
Sometimes I've noticed it's harder to start running when you're only doing it once a week.
Yeah.
Like it's easier to do it every day than to do it once a week.
The downside is I no longer have space for a treadmill unless I move this bike, which I just might because my daughter is not interested in riding it. So
it's all cheerleading. She's got the bug.
Yeah, she's got the cheerleading bug. So, and it has width, so I think I might just go ahead and purchase a treadmill again, and then move this bike out the way.
You might have to put an air track there or like a mat or something like that. She might be asking for that pretty soon.
Yeah, we had our
practicing tumbling next to you.
Yeah, when my loft was not finished, well, it was finished, but when it was like still like just a playroom basically, they used to have I made her a gymnastics one, and so I made a bar, the twirl bar, and then the beam, and I gave her a mat, and that's when she would do tumbling and flips and all that stuff. I have the mat in the garage, and I tell her to go do it in the driveway.
Nice. Yeah, I did that too, which I actually still have the balance beam. I have to figure out how to get rid of that. Because
I just cut it into pieces and threw it away. Well, I cut it into pieces and used it as firewood while I was camping.
Yep.
So I guess you could call that throwing it away. But
I think isn't mine pressure treat? I think it is pressure treated.
Yeah.
That's not as fun to burn.
Yeah, in the woods though, I just stand back and burn it. Just stand back.
Don't breathe it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't downwind, and you're good.
You're just going off today. So far now, you've said the WNBA, nobody wants to watch that.
Nobody wants to watch that. That's a fact.
And
did you know that in the WNBA, the money they get is taken from the NBA because they can't make any money?
I don't know. I think this is going to be a big year for them. I think things have changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, after this last March Madness for them, it'll be big.
When they make it to profitability, then we'll have the discussion of who actually is watching it. But until they stop taking money from the men, it's absolute proof that nobody wants to watch women play basketball, not even women.
Well, and they're finally creating narratives and stuff, so it's like, that's going to help. You got to have a narrative. You got to have something to talk about. You got to have, the sports podcasts and shows talking about it.
Yeah.
And once you get that, then people will watch for the drama.
Even with people talking about it on podcasts still, I guess there are podcasts for that. That's why nobody cares.
I listen to the Dan Levitard show.
And it's not like, I'm not trying to swing the narrative that nobody cares about women's sports, because that's not my point. My point is basketball is one that it's just not it. But they give it so much, they push it when we could be pushing sports that people do enjoy watching women do and that we do want to see. But at the expense of what? They're giving the TV time to stuff that nobody wants to see.
I don't know. I think you'll see a difference this year. They're going into this season well. They're going in with a narrative. I mean, I won't be watching, but I also haven't been watching the NBA either. I barely even watch the playoff games, and I'm rooting for the Celtics. I like just tune in every so often to see where they're at.
Yeah.
Basketball kind of frustrates me. I don't mind college basketball because it's so short and done. But once you drag it into 4 quarters like that, it's just like, come on now. That's too much basketball. Because you can't even there's no reason to even watch in the beginning because it's just all going to change, which I guess is any sport. But
I don't know. I would say that soccer doesn't apply those rules.
no, soccer can be anything at any time.
And then biking too, like they don't follow any of those rules. Well, it depends on the version. Like I guess you could say the first 3 hours of cycling doesn't matter at all. Just watch the last hour. I mean, you could make that argument, but yeah.
Well,
but like cyclocross, if you don't watch the first 10 minutes, you have no idea what's going on and why it's going on.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes are the most important of the entire race.
If I'm able to watch an entire cycling race or stage, I love it because I really enjoy cycling and I find myself really enjoying it. But if I'm watching a replay, I'm fast forwarding. Like I'll fast forward a little bit and see where that's at. Yeah. And then fast forward a little more and then go to the end like 20
why spend the 4 hours if you don't have to, but you still enjoy it. But it's not a hate thing. It's just like, we know nothing's happening, so let's skip to what's happening. Which is fine. But yeah. In soccer, like watching women play soccer is not bad. And you know, like I said, tennis, they fucking money is in that. And you know, track, oh my God, people definitely want to watch that. They'll pay whatever. People are watching, period. It's entertaining.
Did you say track?
Yeah, track.
Really?
Heck yeah, people watch that.
Okay, I think you're giving hot takes on your own opinions here.
No, seriously, check it out. Check out the numbers. I'm not making this stuff up.
I don't think anything's based off of facts now.
You must not know about track then.
How about roller derby?
I like the sound of that.
That's ignorance now.
Forget the world. That thing's taking over the solar system.
I like the sound of that. Roller derby. Is that involve rollers?
Oh no, not that one, but that's another good one actually. I think we're inventing a new sport here. It used to be popular, I think what was it, like 80s and 90s? And it would just be these 2 teams that ride around essentially a miniature cycling track. And it's actually a lot like professional wrestling in the way of that they put on a show, but there's a lot of knocking people over, but you can only do it at certain points. And not totally sure how it goes, but it is entertaining. It's taking over the galaxy. I know that when the Summer Olympics are on, people like track. They mostly only like the sprint because they like guys with big quads.
Yeah, dude, you're ignorant to track.
I'm just going from the normal consumer, that's all.
No, I am talking about the normal consumer. You got a lot to learn about track if that's what you think.
The sprinters are always the ones that are talked about. Well, I'm not going to ask you, Andy.
What?
Name an Olympic track person right off the top of your head.
An Olympic track person? What? Running or cycling?
Well, yeah, running. running.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Don't follow it.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'll concede one thing, that maybe it's just black people like track and white won't watch it. But then, yeah, that would make sense considering all of the best runners are black. So maybe it's just a black thing, and that's why I'm ignorant. But in our community,
I think
huge.
most of the sprinters are black. I don't think for long distance you get
Because
okay,
you bring
Kenyan.
Ethiopians and foreigners over for the distance events, and they destroy.
Yeah.
I'd struggle if
And
you
they
asked me
like
to name a cyclist.
Oh yeah. No.
I could name
Well, you would
I could
have
name a
to do that.
Paralympic cyclist. The Sarah story. There you go.
The first one that always comes to my mind is Usain Bolt and then Michael Johnson. I think that's where it all ends.
Yeah, James Sarah story's ridden this ride. Ridden a Divas as well. And the Hoodie Century. Sorry, I killed that
Now, as far as
conversation
the
now, haven't I? I'll
As
just
far
shut
as
up and let you
Olympics
guys
go.
carry on.
As far as Olympics go, I feel like the swimmers seem to always get it. And it's always sprinters, swimmers, and what's the other one I'm thinking of? Man, I had it in my head and now it's gone.
We went to wrestling at some point. That's also Olympic.
Yes. Nobody ever talks about it though. What was or at least in the US.
Oh, since Andy Kaufman died, it's not an issue.
If you say wrestling around here, it's always Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Randy the Macho Man Savage.
There's been no intergender champion since Andy Kaufman.
Oh, and gymnastics. Gymnastics is the other one that always has at least one name. That's big.
That's basically cheerleading just in an international setting.
Yes. I agree. It's kind of like figure skating where it's like you look at the scores and sometimes you're like, okay, I get it. Then other times you're like, what? How? I don't like judge sports. It is a very confusing thing.
But you're not supposed to score the person, you're just supposed to score what they do on this court. So I think that's playing myself.
It is interesting in cheering to see some of the tactics that the good coaches use in order to work with the judging, where they add in distractions into the routine at certain points. This was the first time at this competition that I had noticed these things. And I brought it up like I just had an epiphany. And Grace was just looking at me like, are you stupid? Obviously, that's what they do. This is what we train on all the time. And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought I was onto something big here. I'm finishing this a lot easier today. I was feeling a little better later in the day yesterday, but I think it also helps to have company and be able to talk and control my breathing better.
You can just start talking to people you pass on the way to work. Maybe that will help. Anyway, it will maybe make you famous in Bangor.
Bangor famous. It's always been my dream.
Well, you're literally the only person I know from Bangor, so you might already be there.
Hey, that's a good way to look at it. If ever you hear someone mention Bangor, Maine, first name that will come up will be me.
For sure.
Usually it's Stephen King.
Yeah, okay, I know that he lives there, but that's because of you told me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known it. Because you think it increases your house price, but I can't imagine any way that having Stephen King in the neighborhood could increase your house price.
Well, that's the thing. You read his books and you watch the movies and you see that the inspiration was definitely this state, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't think I want to go there. Unless if you're into that sort of thing. I'm still waiting for him to come out with a new book based on the new and improved Bangor. Now that meth has made its well, self-known. It's going to make for a really good book. Because you see him every summer. He goes out and he'll walk every morning right along the path I take to work. I'll pass him. Tried to take a picture of him once for Andy, and it was like as if he knew I was taking the picture, and he ducked right behind a telephone pole. I was like, well, I tried to get a picture of him for you. But instead I just got a telephone pole. Seeing here on Twitch that the new iPad Pro is out. It is the thinnest Apple product ever. How thin is too thin?
How much thinner is it than the previous one? Like 0.1 of a millimeter.
I would imagine that's. It looks like maybe in the middle of it, it's about the same as it used to be, and then they just thinned out the edges.
Does it take the puffing up of the battery into account?
Well, it doesn't even. Oh, it disappeared. Doesn't even look like it has a camera on it. It must though. I don't know. Like, well, then you're gonna put a case on it just to keep it from snapping in half. and it'll be right back to the normal size. So I don't really understand the need, but yeah, I would imagine soon it will be bent in half. Spooky.
Gate 2-0, yeah.
Yeah, the other day when I was getting on the plane, there was this old guy. He must have been like right around 90. And he said he had one of those Samsungs that folds in half. And he's over there trying to figure out how to get his boarding pass up. And he's like, look, before I left, my son brought it up for me. And I was all ready to go. But since then, my phone shut off or went blank. So now I can't get it back up again. Could you help me out? Yeah, I'm like, okay. And he handed me it. And I haven't played with one of those yet. And I really wanted to close it. But I was thinking that's probably not helpful right now. But I really wanted to try it out. I didn't. I didn't let the voices take over and make me do things. Come on, just close it. Just close it. And I said, no. We are going to help this man. We are not going to hinder him. Yeah, for some reason I feel like at some point they are going to have an issue. Those don't seem like they're built for longevity, anything like that. I mean, you would imagine that they've come up with a good flexible wire harness or something that would keep wires from snapping, but I like things that don't do extra movements that they don't really need to do. All I can imagine with the iPad, with the new iPad, is that because it's thinner, it's now more likely to snap in half, which then you now have to get an even larger iPad case for this than you've ever had to in previous models. So now in the end, your iPad ends up larger than it's ever been. Oh, yes. HTML's kind of phone.
Yeah.
This is going off of our conversation with the Teslas.
It's got to wear out, hasn't it?
I was talking about how Teslas they have some things that after years need to be replaced and are expensive. And he said, oh, I'll have a new one by then. Like, okay, well, that Tesla works out perfectly for you. I'm going to be the guy that buys a 20-year-old Tesla that probably the driver's side door doesn't work anymore, so I have to get in through the passenger side. I'm running off of auxiliary batteries that are in the back seat.
We've gone a year and a half now without changing our phones. That's unusual, especially for Mrs. Lawton.
I'm on a 13. Which I plan to have for hopefully a while.
Still rocking a 14 Pro Max. Which the kids will get whenever we upgrade.
Good. That is what I would imagine, Pookie, that the screen would start to show wear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a pointless movement
I mean,
just
souls
to have,
or
just to
something.
make something cool. It's a great idea as far as like, oh, look at this. This is cool, but I'm not going to stop and actually purchase it if I'm at the phone store. I'm just going to sit there and flip it a bunch of times until they tell me I need to stop flipping it. Then I'll set it back down and move over to the iPhone. Oh, nice. iPhone 4.
Yeah,
I'm
I've still
guessing
got one.
that's not your everyday use phone.
I've still got an mine a 4S, I think. That thing's so small. How did we ever type on them? I feel like I'm going to break it now.
Well, that's why we had so many mistypes, is because you're trying to type with your thumbs on a tiny screen like that. At that time, they were great, though. I was amazed at how responsive and intuitive they were. I was like, wow, I'm easily hitting 4 different letter keys right now, and it's choosing just about the one that I want almost all the time.
Yeah, if we're talking about everyday carry, Spooky, then mine holds 17 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber.
Spooky's from California, I don't think. He's limited to what, 5? Although in Oklahoma you can do whatever.
Oh yeah. so I have my concealed carry permit, and I don't know if you shop in Costco, Pookie, but you have a membership card, yeah. So, and you have to show that when you go at the checkout. I go to the checkout, reach into my wallet, hand the woman my card, and she looks at me. And I look at her, and then I look at the card and realise that I've handed her my concealed carry permit rather than my Costco membership card. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that could have gone rather wrong.
Yeah. Is that some sort of a don't call the cops, I want all the money out of all the registers?
I know, right?
She's trying to figure out what you're trying to tell her. Ah, the loophole.
You've just got to get them in the family at first.
Maine's a very free state in the firearms department, but ever since the shooting in Lewiston, now I feel like things are going to start changing, because there's all kinds of bills going through now. Which most of them are getting directed toward mental health, since that was the case for
Now you can tell about the time you were shooting into a barn.
Oh, there we go. I finished it today. Woo.
You finished. Why aren't you here?
That wasn't even.
I thought you were here. I thought you were on the ebb. Why aren't you on the ebb?
You thought I was on the ebb this whole time? Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Who's
I
your Mel going
started
to
on
race
my
against
workout
then?
a little late. I don't know. Isn't Wu there?
Yeah. Again, who's your Mel going to race against?
I'm on
I
my
think
own.
with the amount of work I've been doing this week to try to catch up, I don't know if I'd be any sort of competition for you, Mel, today. Although this might be the only chance I would have to actually be competition. Maybe the last Friday before my race, I'll be competition.
Oh, so now you're not turning up, and then you're sort of indicating that you could have won if you had turned up.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Hmm.
Smash that subscribe button for more tips.
If
Yeah.
you want the winner's
Hey there, Ben.
cam, it'll be Woo. A Woo cam for today.
Didn't they do a song in the 80s? Oh no, that was the Wu-Tang Clan, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
Yeah, they were
Wu-Tang
90s.
Clan.
Although
You're talking about George Foreman and Mr. Wu cleaning windows. I don't think that was the 70s.
That was George Formby, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ben asks, how's Andy going to go today? Well, I'm back on the bike, Ben, after more than a week off it.
I
And
have to
struggling.
change my chain out. Yesterday on my ride home from work, just a short ride, it was like 9.5 miles, like 50 kilometers for you, Ufa. Something like that, 50 or 60 kilometers, I don't know. But I went and had a nice dry ride home the entire way. Like halfway into Bangor, the roads are soaked. A thunderstorm had just ripped through that one area.
Woo must be watching.
Yeah.
Did he say something?
Woo,
I haven't
my
seen your
face
voice.
is stuck like this. I keep telling you that. I can't change it. That's what it does.
I
These
have
are
not
the
seen your
points
voice,
where I
Ben,
wish
no.
I was there. Oh, hey, Ben. Check the lost and found. It might still be at the race you did.
Hey, Mel, I'm getting a new soldering iron today.
Oh yeah? Is
Yes.
this one of the good ones? Like super
Oh, it's
good?
It's a good one, yes. It's a
Yeah,
Weller.
I should have known. When you bought that expensive device last week, I should have known you're not cheaping out on a soldering iron.
Turn that pencil. Yeah. Soldering irons arriving today. A 1 pound reel of Kester solder is coming on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
Some extra bits. And a 2.4 gigahertz antenna for my radio. At the radio club on Monday, a friend should be giving me a feed horn for 5.6 and 10 gigahertz. So those bands covered. Just need to make a dish now.
Going too fast for me. When I was on the band, it was 2.3 and 5.7, so I wouldn't even be on the right frequency.
Well, the national calling frequency is 570.1.
Got all that stuff memorized. Veggies. Okay.
Yeah, the hairbrush song.
Baby shark.
Do, 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 do.
2.3 gigahertz used to be a right mess. So I think Germany had
Yeah, what does
2304, Europe in general 2320, and Americans, I don't know, somewhere in the 50s or something. So on Moonbound, you had to have 3 different converters in order to be able to contact somebody.
Ben says, baby, Rick, do 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 do. Bring fence back.
What? The Beast is in the shop. The Beast is spending a lot of time at the shop. I see why you're running so much if the Beast has to be in the shop so this much. So far with my truck, every time that I think it should be in the shop, I find out that I just don't know what I'm talking about. And I end up being embarrassed because of my lack of ability and knowledge to fix my own bike. Or even diagnose if there's an actual issue.
Did how
Like the last time I took it to the shop and I told him what was wrong. And he went and did it for me. And then I was like, yeah, see, that's what's happening. And he was like, no, that's how they're supposed to be. And I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Could you put it back on for me? And I'll just take my bike and leave now.
It's my grandma's birthday today. I wonder if y'all are the same sign.
Whoa, is today Andy's birthday?
No.
Oh. This ass,
No.
I had that on a calendar.
In a bit over a
Okay.
week.
Whose birthday is it?
My grandmother's.
Well, yeah, but I thought there was someone else.
Grace mentioned being extra
I was-
old, so I don't know whether that means she just had a birthday. I was just reading between the lines.
I was trying to figure
But-
out y'all the same sign.
Janice has asked the
Here I
question.
am on. I'm not even in the chat, so I don't. Here we go.
There we go.
Spam.
Answered as well. Yes, it was
Ah.
Grace's birthday on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I know a lot of people who have April birthdays. My sister just had one on Wednesday, actually. Yeah, my VO2's not happy ever since I got back. Or Garmin
Weird sign.
thinks
It's
my
that back to
VO2
school babies.
I'm sure it'll be ready, Ben.
I guess that's why there's so many babies. After y'all are back to school babies, which means y'all parents sent away the kids and then had plenty of free time.
Oh, how does that work if I'm the oldest?
Oh, I don't know. I guess they were just like, yeah, I don't know. Good one.
My birthday's in September. I thought.
No.
I'm a holiday thing.
Yeah.
I'm
What is
a
that? You're a New Year.
I'm drinks on New Year's. That's how I came about.
No, because I can tell you that someone thinks we make them good.
Ready, Jamal? Gonna let you go. Off you go.
Why am I in
Alright.
front? Here we go. GJ is leading.
Alright. Jamal is off.
Yes.
Go down to the hairpin double back. Finish line. Take that green arch on the other side of the road. Handful of riders up the front here. Trying to break away from the pack.
Don't worry about the guy in the front. Because he doesn't know what he's doing. He already dropped his. All right. Watch out for Wu behind you.
Yeah. Jamel's already at 6.5 watts a kilo. Just trying to stay at the front there. Here we go, around the corner. Alright, 4 here. Making a little gap for it. Jamel's going early. Here he goes. Pulling away. 12 seconds, and that's it. Keep it going, keep it going. Wow, look at this gap. Jamel's got this in the bag.
Keep it.
Wu's trying to chase it down.
Quick. Wu's coming.
There we go. Easy win.
Nice.
Wu taking second place. Wu did get the jersey, the sprint jersey. But
Nice one.
that's not important.
Nice one, Wu.
Jamal,
Holy, Wu was making some moves on the front. Holy, he was coming in at 14 watts a kilo, just with a rocket engine strapped to the back.
Jamal took the win. That's what's important. All right,
Yes.
there we go. Confirmed. Jamal. Wu. Cordoba, Malo, Duhal, and Sime. Sime, whatever.
Nice one, Jamal.
Okay, we go 5. Andy coming in 22nd. Yay! One of these days I will race this, and I'll be completely embarrassed.
That was perfect. I was concerned about you being Wu just hanging back behind you. But
Thanks, Pookie.
But yeah, you went right at the right time with a ton of power.
Pookie says, nice ride. Thanks for being there.
I did a workout. Thanks, Pookie. I did accomplish finishing it though. Last time I didn't finish a workout before yesterday was a very long time ago. I was very concerned by that.
Well, we're going to have enough to put names in the women's leaderboard as well.
Otherwise, I volunteer to be in there.
All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna go and get some breakfast. Pookie, Ben, thanks very much for joining us on the stream chat. Everybody else is out there as well. Appreciate you being there. We'll be back on Monday. I don't know what with yet, but we'll be back on Monday. So until then, have a great weekend. See you again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.